Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Do you know what two sounds I was just creating there? If you do, great, good for you, because if you don't, well, that's why you're on this channel. And today we start a whole new series of videos called Music Theory Applied MAP, right? The MAP. Today I'm going to show you in this new series that I'm beginning each week how to apply music theory to playing guitar. So I'm going to teach you all the music theory from the basics on up to the most advanced concepts possible that are applied to guitar. The same things and concepts that all the great stars know. Anybody that's your hero, I'm going to teach you everything they know, because all those guys know all the same stuff. The language of music mastered completely. That's what we're going to show you how to do from start to finish. So watch this series of videos. This will be much more talking than playing. This is, again, a theory-based lesson. I will show things on the guitar as need be. But if you're a video skipper, jumper, thrower, you will probably be wasting your time here, and I wouldn't even, spend your time doing something else, because you're going to waste it if you're just going to jump around through these videos. I will be including little nuances and things along the way that are important to understand, so if you jump through, you're going to miss all that stuff, and you're not going to understand what's going on in these videos, because I will be dishing out homework to you each week. Yes, this is like a real set of classes. So you're going to get homework, things you are expected to be able to understand by the next lesson, because I'm going to assume you know that stuff. I'm not going to be referring back to things you already know. So if you don't do the work that's involved, you wouldn't be able to follow this series. These series of lessons are for the guys that are hungry to learn how to learn music theory and maybe don't have a place to go get it, or don't have someone in their style of music that wants to give, to learn it, or just don't know where to go. Well, I'm going to help you, because I'm going to show you how to master all the music theory. Everything you need to know about playing guitar, I'm going to show it to you. The very first thing we want to understand is this. All the keys are the same. All the information in them is the same. Every single key is the same as one key, only we move the pitches up and down the guitar. So whatever we learn in one key, we just move it to the next key. All the theory is the same. There are no rules that are different from key to key. Once you learn something in a key, you apply it to all 12 keys. So you really only need to learn the music theory in one key, the easiest key. And then you just practice applying this stuff into the next key, as we will do, because I'm going to get you to basically do it all on your own by yourself. When you're done watching these classes, you'll be able to teach it to somebody else, and you will be a master of the music theory and applying it to the guitar. Not just saying, oh, I know my scales, Mezzy. I know my scales. I already know that, Mezzy. Great, I'm glad you know it. But can you apply it the way all professional players do it? Can you apply it so that lots of people want to watch you do it? Can you make it sound good every single time you play it? When you write something, does it sound professional? Does it sound like it kicks butt? Does it sound like everybody wants to hear it? Does it sound great? Bottom line, does it sound good? Or are you struggling to get that? Are you practicing to get that? I'm going to show you how to get it every time. You're going to know how to get it every time. When you understand how to apply the music theory, playing the guitar is a piece of cake. Because what are you doing when you play it, really? Anything you touch on this guitar, what are you really doing? Right? Any note you play is music theory. Whether you know it or not, you're using music theory. The issue is, do you know what you're doing when you use the music theory? If you're just copying it, well, it's not the same thing as knowing it. And if you want to master it, but you don't have the thousands of dollars to sit at music school, at college somewhere, you can learn it right here for free. But you don't have to learn all the riff-raff, rubble-bubble junk in between that I had to go through. Stuff that doesn't even apply to guitar, but they teach you because they want your money, so they got to figure out how to get you in there for 4 years. Because what I'm going to teach you isn't going to take you 4 years to master. You're going to be a beast on the guitar if you come back knowing everything the following week. So I'm going to be putting out one video a week. I don't know what day it'll be. It'll be a different day every week probably. But there'll be a video every week. So you have a week or maybe 10 days, depending on the week, to learn what you are supposed to know. Because again, when I come back to the next video, I'm basing it off of the fact that you understand and completely know what's going on in this video. So if you don't get it, you got to leave me a comment, and either me or somebody else who knows can answer it for you. If somebody else answers, great. If their answer is incorrect, I will politely correct it for them and make sure you all understand it correctly. But you're here to learn, so it's going to be a theory-based set of lessons. There's going to be minimal guitar playing because I already have 145 videos on how to play the guitar. Let's now learn how to apply some music theory to the guitar. We'll start very simple and work our way up into masterclass down the road. So let's get started. If you know what sounds I created on that intro video, I'm very proud of you for knowing. I think that's great, and you're on your way to a phenomenal start already. In case you don't know, I'm not going to tell you yet. You'll have to figure it out. If somebody wants to blurt it out, well, go ahead. I don't necessarily think you should, but if you want to go telling everybody whatever, it's nobody. I can't stop you. It's a comment. So let's begin with that first concept, okay? That the first thing you want to understand is all the keys are the same. So we're going to start with the simplest key and work our way up. And I'm going to explain everything along the way. So these videos, there's going to be a lot of them, and they're going to be lengthy because there's a lot of information to go over in each chapter of video. So I've broken this down to each video is a particular topic and section that we're going to learn. And it is going to be enough information that you can grab the information in this video without it being too much information so that you can come back to the next video ready and aware and alert and understanding what went on in the prior video so that you can continue to build your skills of understanding the music. Because as you understand it, I'm not going to have to show you how to play it. You're going to know how to play it because when you understand it, you understand it. And then that means you don't need any help anymore. So when you understand what I'm telling you, or I give you a small demonstration and you go, holy cow, it totally makes sense, then you can practice putting it into the different keys as you understand it in the key we're in. And I will help you do that along the way. I won't go through all 12 keys, but I'll go through some of them for you to show examples in different keys of how it is applied and how it's the same. Now, generally speaking, I'm not going to ever give you exact answers because music is gray. There's no black and white. Some think the theory is black and white, but the concept, what people do with it is gray area all over the place. So I can't say yes or no to something being definite unless it's a rule. So here's a generalized statement I'm going to make that we're going to affects the way these lessons operate. Most of the time, you will see guitar songs based around a guitar in 6 of the 12 keys in music language, right? 6. So there's 12 notes on the guitar, right? 1 key for every note. There's 12 keys. Well, if you notice, you're not going to see many songs in certain keys. So most of the keys you're going to see are going to be 6 out of the 12, and we will study those 6 and why we study those 6. We're going to learn everything we need to know. Again, you're going to learn everything you need to know about mastering guitar the way all the greatest players on the planet have played it and mastered it. So whoever your guitar icon heroes are, whoever your favorite players are that you want to play like or write like or be like or sound like, you're going to be able to do all of that here and create your own style, which you eventually will probably want to do when you realize, wow, you know what? I really am understanding this stuff, and now you can create your own style and become your own identity instead of piggybacking on somebody else's style. It is great and awesome to have icons and heroes and things like that and work towards things that they do. But at some point, when you become a master of this stuff, you're going to quickly realize that you are your own identity and you want to show that to the world and make your own music in the style you want to do it in. Yes, you will give credit to the people that influence you because we want to do that. We're proud to say that these people influenced our great style, and you will do that as well. Now let's get started. The very basic thing we want to understand is, and I will refer back to the key of C major for everything. So the first thing we're going to learn to do is refer back to the key of C for every answer we want in any other key. And that is because the key of C major has no sharps and flats, and it is the easiest key for you to see in your mind or see on paper the answers to what you're looking for. When you have no accidentals in the process of what you're trying to figure out, it is much, much easier for your brain to understand the concepts. So we will be working with the key of C major and only using other keys to refer to them for the simple fact to prove that it is the same in another key. So in that case, we have to use another key, and I will, and so will you. If you want to write things down and try these things on paper that we're talking about, you can pause the videos and do your work, continue right along. You want to ask questions? This is a real set of lessons for you guys. These are real theory lessons. You can ask me questions in the comments section, and I will answer everything as clearly as I can. If somebody else knows the answer and you know your answer is correct, go ahead and answer. If the answer is incorrect or slightly off, I will politely try to do my best to correct you in the most respectful way without making you sound like you don't know what you're doing. If you honestly have something that you're saying to someone and it's close, but maybe there's something I can interject, I will do it in the most politely respectable way I can, the most polite way without insulting anyone. So we are here to learn and be a group and a team. We're like a little music family here. We help each other out. If you know something, help a fellow brother out. I'm helping you guys out. The only thing I ask from you is you pay forward and you help someone else out, because I'm not expecting anything back. I just enjoy helping. I didn't have that help growing up. I had learned everything by myself. I bought books and read them, and I had to go to music stores and act like I was interested in buying a guitar to say to somebody, hey, how do you do this? Or do you know this? Can this guitar do this? Hey, can this guitar play 2-octave sweep arpeggios? And I say to the guy at 13 years old, hey, can you show me a 2-octave sweep on this guitar? Do they play easy on here? If the guy didn't know him, then I wasn't learning nothing from that guy. But I would find my guys, pick around and see who knew what and say, oh, well, you know something. And then I'd act like I want to buy a guitar, so the guy might spend 15 minutes giving me some sort of gypsy music lesson on a concept that I want to know. So that's what I had to do. But for you guys, it won't be the same. Okay, so let's get right down to it. The first thing I need you to understand is we build all the chords from, the notes from the chords are built from the key. Now there's 12 keys in music, one for every note. The one we're going to start with is the key of C. The key of C, for now, you're just going to take it for face value for what I say, and just believe what I say because it's the truth. You don't have to know why everything is just yet. Because it's easier to not know why when you don't have a full explanation. So, what we're going to just understand is the key of C major is the 7 basic letters, C, D, E, F, G, A, B. That is our key of C major, C, D, E, F, G, A, B. No sharps and no flats. It's just all natural letters. Natural letters are plain letters. Accidentals are sharps or flats. Even if they're double sharps or double flats, those are accidentals. Natural letters are the natural letters that fall in the key. Quick basic music theory history lesson. There were only 7 notes until 550 AD when the Greeks decided to split the tones and come up with 12 notes. So originally it was only 7 notes, and then it became 12. There you go, quick little theory lesson for you, right? Little history lesson on some music theory. You can thank the Greeks for that one, and I'm Armenian 100%. We are good friends with the Greeks. Makes sense, I'm an Armenian musician then. So anyway, let's get right to it. So the notes of the chords only come from the notes in the key you're playing in. So the key of C major, and that's what you're going to believe for now, because if that changes later on, I'll tell you later on. You may know something I don't know, you maybe say, hey, that's not true. It's true for now, because we're in basic class today. This is first grade. So we have the key of C major, C, D, E. I'm trying to go slow for some of you guys. F, G, A, B. So here's what we learn. We're going to take the notes of the scale. We're going to build chords. So if you have paper, you can do this on paper. A lot of your music theory should be written down to see it tangibly in front of you. Because a lot of you are visual learners, such as I was. So if you're a visual learner, write this stuff down. You're going to write out your key of C, C, D, E, F, G, A, B. And we're going to use Roman numerals because Roman numerals are very prevalent in music theory. And we're going to start with them today. So underneath the letters, if you write them down, which you all should be writing this down. I don't want to have to tell you, but you should be if you don't figure it out yet. You should be writing this down. In fact, you would want a notebook dedicated to music theory. So get yourselves a notebook. I prefer wide-ruled 80-page books, not the college rule books. The wide-ruled lines are much easier to write your tablature in, which we will learn to do. I'm sure some of you know how to do it. But not everybody does. These are basic lessons. If you don't, I'm going to show you. If you do, great. I'm going to tell you everything. Most of what I'm going to tell you will be explained. I won't be showing you too much. I want you to understand it so you understand it. If I show you, well, maybe you don't understand it. But if I can explain it to you and make you understand what I'm saying, well, then I know you understand it. So it's a little better for you to not necessarily see everything on the guitar, but to be explained it so you can get it. And then when you get it, you'll be able to play it. So I want you to write down, get your pencil and paper, pause the video if you didn't do it, and get back, all right? Here we go. Now, here's what we're going to do. Underneath your C, D, E, F, G, A, and B, you're going to write the Roman numerals, and I'm going to tell you how to write them. You're going to write an uppercase number 1 under the C, a lowercase number 2. I'm going to assume you know your Roman numerals. If you don't, Google it. I want you to write a lowercase number 2 under the D, a lowercase number 3 under the E, and I want you to write an uppercase number 4 under the F, an uppercase 5 under the G, a lowercase 6 under the A, and I want a lowercase 7 under the B. When you write your lowercase number 7 under the B, I want you to put a little diminished symbol, a circle, a little degree symbol. I can give you a small example. Let me just grab my little setup here. Now I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about so you guys understand completely what I'm saying. Now, this is my little book. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. You guys are going to write it like this. I probably even have it in this book because I use this book a lot. Let's see if I even have it for you here already written. All right. Nope, I don't, but I'll show it to you. I'll build the page with you as you build yours. Okay? How's that? All right, you got that written so far, right? Now it's going to look like this. The degree symbol, you'll see what I'm saying. Here's how your Roman numerals will look. Because that is how they're written in music theory. You see the little circle above the 7 there in the corner? That's where it goes, up in the corner all the time, top right corner of your 7. That tells you this is beat diminished. Now, the uppercase Roman numerals mean the chords are minor. The lowercase Roman what am I saying? This morning. I'm not used to being up before 12, so give me a break, all right? Uppercase Roman numerals are major, lowercase Roman numerals are minor, except the 7 is diminished, and that's why we have the circle, to signify that that 7 is not minor, that it is diminished. So if you don't have your little circle there, it's going to look like minor, but there is no 7 that's minor, so that would be your Roman numeral 7 would be incorrect. You want it to look like that one with the little circle there. So again, uppercase Roman numerals are major, lowercase Roman numerals are minor. This is always. Now, 1, 4, and 5, if you notice those spots are major, that is the same in all 12 keys. None of this changes, okay? Music theory is the same in every key as I told you. So all the 1s are major, all the 2s are minor, all the 3s are always minor, all the 4s are always major, all 5s are always major, all 6s are always minor, all 7s are always diminished. It's that way in every single key. Now, if you were to do the key of G major, as just for an example, let's say I did the key of G, I'll give you the notes real quick before we figure them out one day, which we will. But I'm going to show them to you for now, just to show you that it is exactly the same set of Roman numerals. You see, the concept of Roman numerals is the same, whether you're in the key of G or C. I'm going to explain to you how we get the key of G and the notes we get to it in a moment. But that is what's going on in the basic key of C. So we want to know how I got the notes in the key of C. Well, you don't care how I got them in G, because when you know how to get them in C, you'll know how to get them in G, right, folks? Again, you learn the concept once, you do it again. So you're going to learn something here called, I want you to write these two numbers down. 2.5 and 3.5, okay? Because you're going to learn that this is the symbol for a whole step. That little box, 3/4 of a rectangle. A half step symbol is this thing, and I'm going to write half. It's a little triangle-like thing. Now, you're going to build yourself what's called the major scale pattern. This major scale pattern is going to give you all the notes for any major scale that you begin at the beginning of this pattern. We're going to begin with the key of what, folks? Thank you very much. C. But first, we have to build the major scale pattern, which I'm going to show you right now. You'll learn this in any theory class. 2.5 means 2 whole steps, 1 half step, connected. 3.5 means 3 whole steps, 1 half step, connected. This is how you write it. See that? I want you to write that. Learn to write it well. 1, 1, half, 1, 1, 1, half, whole, half, whole, half. That is your major scale pattern. Now, let's find out why the key of C major has no sharps and flats. I'll give you the theoretical answer right now because the pattern says so, just like your parents. Why can't I go out till 12 o'clock? I'm only 9 because I said so. No, that's what I was asking. Hey, why can't I stay out till 12 o'clock? I'm 9. And you know what my mother said? Psh, psh. Nah, she said, because I said so. So, why does the key of C have no sharps and flats? I'm going to tell you why. Because the pattern says so. And if you look at the pattern, you're going to see what I mean. Now, you have to already know your 12 notes. If you don't know those, I'm going to show them to you. A sharp, which is B flat. You have B and C. You have C sharp, which is D flat. You get D sharp is E flat. I suggest you write these the same exact way that I'm writing them because it will help you learn far faster. Okay. What I normally do, and I think most people probably do this, is we write the natural letters larger than the accidentals. So you should have it written out something like this, where your naturals are bigger. And there's your 12 notes. If you notice, the flat note is just a note up, one up from the sharp, and then it's flatted. There's your notes. Knowing these 12, we can begin to find out why the key of C major has no sharps and flats. When we build the pattern with the key of C major, folks, you should be getting this. You put the notes underneath the lines, not under the points, ever. My C is actually under the line. It's supposed to be under this line, not under the points. See that? That's how you're supposed to write your letters out. Underneath the lines, not under the points. Now that we have our letters, we understand if we go C major, we go 2 notes over, we get a D. 1 whole step is 2 frets. So 1 whole step over from C is a D, because we go C sharp to D. That's a whole step, right? Another whole step from D would be E, because D sharp is the half, E is the whole. So now we understand wholes and halves a little bit. Half step from E to the F. That's why there's no F sharp, because it's a half step from E. Now we go to the key of G. That E will be sitting on a whole step line, which means we would go over a whole step in the key of G, and that's why it would be an F sharp. Here it's an F, because from an E we see a half step marker, not a whole step marker. So from the F we go 2 over to G, 2 over to A, 2 over to B, 1 back to C, and gabanga boom, there's your key of C major. So when you always say to yourself, why does the key of C, I never knew why it had no sharps or flats. Well, now you know why. If you knew already, good for you. If you didn't know, well then you're learning. This is good for you then. And now we're going to move on to applying, as you saw earlier on the other page. We're going to apply our Roman numerals right to these letters. So we just saw the Roman numerals. Can you remember where they go? I'm going to write them, and let's see if you know where they go. Again, this is a music class for those of you who are interested in really learning your music theory the way you learn it in a school, in a collegiate environment, but you don't have the cash, the dough, or the interest to go to college. And you just want to know your music theory. And you want to know it, and you want to know it well, here's where you come. I'm going to teach it to you up and down, straight up, Sally. Right, so applying your Roman numerals, here's what they look like. And now we know the value of every chord. By the way, if you're going to do the C note out here, which I didn't do, I'll show you. This is going to be an uppercase 8. But you're going to indicate the octave is higher, so it's going to look like this. The correct way to write the C note at the high end of the scale is to put it as an octave, which is 8, 8 VA. 8 is the it's the 8th letter, so Roman numeral 8. It's major, so it's uppercased. And the 8 VA that you see there means that this C note is an octave higher than the one at the beginning of the scale, indicating 8 VA, that this scale is moving up in pitch from the C note, as if it were to go C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, not C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, which would be what it would look like if you did not have 8 VA. So having 8 VA there lets everybody know your scale definitely goes from low to high. If it's not there, well, we can question it, but assume it goes from high to low. All right? So learn to write the 8 VA after your uppercase Roman numeral 8, which signifies the octave. Now that we have our Roman numerals, folks, understand these are the same Roman numerals for all 12 keys. They stay the same all the time. You might have even heard of the progression 145 or 654. They're very, very common. They refer to Roman numerals. Now, if the Roman numerals were changing from key to key, then how can we have a concept called 145 if it changes all the time? It doesn't change. That's why it is a concept, 145. So understand, these things don't change. So those Roman numerals are the same from key to key. Now we're going to learn how to get the notes for each chord. And if we're going to learn a triad, which we're going to start with first, triad meaning 3, we're going to learn our triads today. How to build your triads, right? Everybody, basic stuff here today. 1, 3, 5. So write this on the side of your paper. Write 1, 3, 5. Maybe a little nicer and neater than I do. I'm a slob. I should have been a doctor, right? Because I write like one. So we got 1, 3, 5 there. Here's what I want you to do. You're going to see a couple different ways to do this, but I want you to do it the correct way. You're going to see the cheater's way in a second. I know you'll probably figure it out, but don't cheat, because it won't get you the real answer. You'll get the answers, but you won't know how you got them, though. So I'll show you what I mean by that in a second. It'd be really easy to figure out. Number 1 means the first note of the chord, which has to be the root note of the chord, so 1 is C. Now, write that down, and I will continue to show you 1 second later what's going on. Write it down. You're good to go. Okay. The 3 means the third letter from the root of C. So the third letter from C is E. So in the next to the 3, under the C, you will write an E, and we're always uppercase in case you've been doing this with lowercase. By the way, use a pencil so you can erase, and always use uppercase letters. CE should look like that. Your 5 is 5 letters from the C, including the G, including the C. So what I tell everybody, adults, kids, whatever, use your hand. You cannot go wrong if you use your hand for 2 reasons. Number 1, the count will be correct every time. And number 2, which is a huge thing people don't think about, you see it when you look at your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You physically see it. Again, musicians, most of us are visual learners. So when you see this count out on your hand, C, D, E, F, G, you learn it faster and you understand it stronger. So please just do it for the sake of yourself. Count on your hand and look at it when you do it. C, D, E, F, G. See that the G is really 5 away. If you don't see it, you're not going to memorize it. You'll do the work, but you will not memorize it. And if you don't think I'm serious about that, then try not, just ignore what I'm saying. Check back with yourself later on, and you'll figure out what I'm saying. If you see it, you learn it faster, because musicians, most of them, are visual learners, which means you need to see yourself count it out. So you start on your thumb, you'll never get the wrong answer, because if you don't memorize it, you're not going to learn it. Now your brain, this is a little thing for you to understand, but your brain, the way it works, if you don't believe something is true, you will not memorize it. Okay? Believe that. If you're not sure if it's true, you're not going to put it to memory. Your brain, that's an automatic thing. Your brain protects itself from falsalities of life. So you have to know that these answers are correct. You have to see them to believe them. C, D, E, F, G says to you all day, I know it's G is 5, and you can't tell me anything else. Well, then when you know that strong, you'll commit it to memory right away, and you'll know it, and you can move on. But if you're not sure, if you count it out in your head like this, C, D, E, F, G, and G is 5, great, you figured it out. But guess what? It doesn't go to memory. Why? Because you're not really sure. You didn't see it to prove it. You just heard it. Difference. You got to see it to put it to memory. So remember to start on your thumb. You can't go wrong. I'm giving you all the tips and tricks that have been tried and true. They work. This isn't new stuff I'm coming up with. I'm telling you things I've been teaching for 35 years. So please, I have 35 strong years of teaching under my belt. I know what I'm talking about. Nothing here is a lie. Everything is the best information possible to getting you to master guitar as quickly as possible and master theory as soon as possible. The sooner you master it up here, the sooner you can write it down here. That's how it works, folks. Let's just keep going. So, now that you understand that the G is the 5, here's what you get. You get a keg. You get the CEG. It works the same way on all these chords. The 1, 3, 5. It's like checkers, right? You're just jumping over the 2 and the 4, starting on the new letter. So if D is the new 1, right? D is our 1. Oh, by the way, guitars make a great guitar table. Flip them over. And they make a great table. You can write on the back of your guitar. I just write on the front of mine because I don't care if I scratch it. But you can flip the guitar over, and I always called it a guitar table. So it makes great sense to use it as a guitar table. Now 1, 3, 5 for the D chord. I'm going to start to speed it up here so we don't bore too many of you guys. 1, 3, 5 is DFA. 1, 3, 5, right? D is the 1, the new 1. The new 3 is F. The new 5 is A. We start from the D. Now I'm going to start from the E, right? I'm going to jump over 2 and 4. So if E is 1, I skip the F. I go to the G, skip the A, go to the B, and I get EGB. I want to finish the rest of them out, finish them out as I will do, and I'll go over the answers real quickly with you as you write them out. You might want to pause it. You don't keep up with me, so I'm kind of moving along. There they all are, folks. Did you do it right? Do you got it? If you did it wrong, do you see what you did wrong? Remember, ask questions along the way. If you're doing it, pop comments down. I may not be able to get to them right away because I might be doing something else, but I will get to them as soon as possible, usually within 24 hours. I try to get back to them as soon as possible, but it is what it is, and that's what we're doing right here. See that? So we're right. See that? And I told you it'd be about a half an hour, and here we are in 30 minutes. So this is what I want you to know today. How to build your scale, which is basically how to build your key and your chords is what you learned today. How to build your chords and your keys. Because you can do this, you can put any letter at the beginning here, and if you follow this correctly, you will get all your letters. Now, a little hint: if you get an accidental, they all need to be the same. So don't be mixing sharps and flats if you build these. They should all be sharps or all flats. Know the difference, okay? And we'll go over all that in theory lessons to come. As I've explained, you will be learning everything there is to possibly know about music theory. This is a very huge concept I want you to understand today. How to build your scales, keys, and chords. Practice it during the week, because by next week, I assume if you don't leave me a comment, then you know what you're doing, and we're going to move along into the next video. I'll go back over a quick, maybe 30-second review of some of the things we did, but that's about it. I'm not going to be wasting your time, because for those of you who put the time in, the reward is we're not going to sit around and wait for the guys who didn't put their time in. You guys are going to move along and become masters of music theory. I want to thank you for watching my channel. That is today's homework. Write that stuff out, understand it, ask questions if you don't. If you want private, personal, one-on-one lessons, message me at mezzyshredder@gmail.com. My prices are very, very competitive to all your local music stores. They're nothing serious. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you want to see what comes out on my videos, since I will not be releasing them on the same day every week. Like and subscribe so you can see when they do pop up, but there will be one every week. I assume you're going to learn this stuff, and if you don't know it, ask your questions. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in another music theory video.